went for a walk. Um, I'm not a morning person. Here, let me turn my volume up. It does not look high at all. We're gonna turn this up. There we go. I'm just making sure. Properties, yes, right. This is the right microphone. Okay, but what I was gonna say was, I this video is about like, do what makes a man more? What defines a man more? His flaws or his successes? That's what I started thinking of this for. So the video I made right before this one in the same day as today. Listen, I was not in the right state of mind. It's okay. So, um, what defines a man more, his flaws or his successes? That's a good question to me. I like it. I like that makes me think. Will someone be remembered more for their wrongdoings or what they did right? I think a man who is known for let me think of this. Let's think of the situation here. A man who was known before he killed, let's say a man offed himself and then he goes for he, and he's in the majority of his life he was known for punching babies. Like if he saw a family with a toddler or something, he'd come up and punch the baby. Now compare that to a man who went around and gave lollipops to babies. Which one do you think would be remembered more for what they did? I'm thinking someone. I think you have to do. It kind of falls into this whole scale of, is complete evil and complete good equal on opposite sides? That's a good question. Do I think that there is a rockier bottom or a higher heaven? Is there like is there more evil to be had um between like is there more evil to be had? And I think in some senses, depending on where you get your morality from, I stutter a lot. I'm aware. But depending on where you get your morality from, you have to think there's different ways people different so I think in general all humans have a basic instinct understanding of what good and evil is. And to some extent, I think even if you're like a psychopath and you can't empathize with it and care about it and feel genuinely invested in morality and right and wrong, do I think that necessarily makes you do I think necessarily like I don't know. If you can't get invested in right or wrong, or do you really have an understanding of it? I say you have an acknowledgement of it. If you are a psychopath, like you genuinely like you can't function off the whole idea of right and wrong, doing right by others, doing wrong by others. If you can't think about that idea, then I'd say you at least have an acknowledgement of what it is. Someone has at least told you this is making like I feel like when you're a kid, at least for me personally, when I was a kid, I remember I loved going on those little fucking what were they called, the little things at the playgrounds where everyone got on. It's like a little circle. You grab onto one of the rebars, and then someone's dad would just spin you all around really fast. I remember I had this basic instinct, like this basic inherent want to help the kid who fell off, and then that the kid who like fell off or was like get falling off or something. I'd always get off with them and see if they were good, because there was always at least one kid who fell off. But in a weird way, I didn't even comprehend morality at the time. And I think that was before. That was at a young age. That was like a really young age. I just remember that was a thing. Like if I saw someone hurt or someone crying, I'd feel bad for them. But I'd say that at a certain point, there was a point in my life where I didn't anymore. Like I stopped. It kind of just went away. Kind of almost. It's like one day I just broke or something. I don't know. But that makes me think, did I then, as a kid then, I had a basic understanding of good and wrong, good and evil. Like I understood and I lean to wanting to be good naturally because I feel like as a human, you're like you evolve with doing what's right for your tribe, aka doing what's right for mankind, and I think you know, and that's kind of something else. Doing what's right for your tribe. I feel like that's why you can see lots of like astounding members of society have have like buried racism. I think that's and I think like you see that a lot. Like you'll see really good people who have a weird vendetta against another race, and it's like not because it's like not that I'm not saying they are good people. I think if you're genuinely racist and you don't like other people because of the way they look, I think you're evil, right? We're not you're not a good person. You're not a good person. You're a bad person. I don't know if when I think of evil, I think of really deplorable motherfuckers. So I don't think evil. I don't think someone's necessarily evil for being racist. But I think you're a bad person. But I think, and then again, I think evil is, and I think racism is like more like it can get evil. Like I think slavery is evil, but I think a separatist is not necessarily evil. I think they're not really a good person. But a separatist is different from someone who is like pro-slavery. So it's like, just it's just a different scales of that. But I think like for example, you'll meet like a really astounding, probably most likely Republican Party running like decent person, like and then you like know them for like 5 years and and you have a couple shots with them in their living room and then they tell you honestly I think society's held back by some of the minorities that we let into our country. And I think it's like it's weird because at that point when you hear that from someone else that you've known for a while, I think you kind of think like you don't stop thinking that they're a good citizen, that they don't and just because they said that doesn't mean that they aren't they like let's say you and him both share a black friend or a Mexican friend or something and you have to think does he like how does he dislike that person? You think no he doesn't because he genuinely talks to that person and it's like it just makes you think does that like there's different scales but it's like then again that could be a lot worse but I feel like there's a weird like back to the original point of this video. I kind of went off of like a tangent of like what racism is, but I'm thinking like I'm gonna use racism as an example here. You can be a separatist or you can be like pro everyone be together. But then you can be pro slavery, but you can't really be any better than but on the good end of the spectrum you can't really go any further. Like you can't be more pro inclusion than you already are, but you can be more racist. Like you can't be more pro inclusion, but you can be more racist. It's like what? That's weird. So it's like then it's kind of like okay, well that's unfair. That's rigged. It's like I can't. There's a certain point where I can where I just become. Like you can just plateau on the scale of being a good person, but you can always get worse. If you want to, you can always get more evil and worse. But at a certain point, like you're not going to be able to get any better of a person. And there is a point where it just doesn't get better anymore. More morally, then you have to think, oh, where's your life? Where's your life leading? Like how your every day to day life is like going. Then, but yeah, ugh. My neighbor has this really nice pond. I actually went fishing at this one place called Simpson Lake. I thought it was going to be real good fishing there. I thought it was going to be great fishing there because no one ever fishes there because they have because the licensing process for it is really expensive and really annoying. So I go there and I'm like and I go there and I with my uncle and he does all the licensing stuff. Well, it was so awesome of him. Thank you. But I go there with him and I hooked onto like one decent fish. Like he was fine. Like he was bending my rod like all the way around, but he came off because I had a really small hook because we were only catching like small fish. And then again, it was also a really shallow place too. Not cool. Not cool. Ugh. Ooh, that's rough. That's rough. That's rough. We don't like that here. But people, well, I don't even think that necessary. I think there are certain political beliefs out there that do make you a bad person, and I think there are a few political beliefs out there that make you actually evil. But like I think fascism is evil, but I don't think being necessarily conservative or liberal is like wrong. I don't think you're a bad person for that. I am I am a left wing libertarian, national scale. I guess on the state level, I lean more right, but nationally, I'm a left wing libertarian. But a lot, I don't think that yeah, pro freedom, don't tread on me. But I think that um, people get this really weird idea that just because someone's on like a is like just because someone's on like the other wing of this political spectrum than you, that makes them necessarily a bad person. I don't think you're necessarily bad because of like most political beliefs. I think there are certain like situations where I think like I also that was a really bad example I set with conservative and liberal. I don't even think liberalism is crazy, but I think like I say progressivism is like the opposite of conservatism. So, but and also I kind of think in that whole sense, I'm gonna speak on it objectively and just speak on their ideologies. I ideologically agree more with progressivism than conservatism because like and the entire idea is conservatism is keep tradition at all costs, keep tradition and keep power, and that's kind of how I've always seen conservatism is like at least that's what from my knowledge is keep power and keep tradition. And I don't know, I don't know, I just don't agree with that ideology. I guess in the sense that I don't really value a country's power more than its freedom. I think freedom is where I don't care if like the country's big or if the country's small. If the country has like freedom and like liberty, then well, along with also an expectation of responsibility, that's all that really matters. Not oh, like conquering the world. But um, I feel like that's a big part of like conservatism is like, and it's just like I think we're supposed to learn from the past, not be stuck in it. And I feel like conservatism, like the whole idea of keep tradition at all costs, is like oh, but they'll say, but there's value. The new humanity can't survive without a nuclear family, dude. Like, what do you mean that yeah, no shit, but like we're always gonna have a nuclear family, dude. Like, there's always gonna be a nuclear family. It's not you're not gonna have there's never gonna be a majority where most people are trans and and there's a minority of people being straight. That's not how it's gonna work. That's not gonna happen because I don't think it's a mental disorder or a I'm not a disability. That's like retarded, but I don't think a mental disorder. I don't think it's a mental disorder anymore in the psychological field, but it used to be as like the whole idea of like body dysmorphia. I think it's like something that very select people go through because just like being trans or not agreeing with what gender you are. It's a fine thing to do, but it's like it is a I'd say mental condition. It's a rare mental condition to have that most people don't have. And I think there is a difference between saying I let's say I personally I become a tranny and is tranny a slur? I don't know if I can say tranny. I'm not saying it in a derogatory way. Like I don't have hatred for trans people. I don't care. But um, okay. Let's say I decide to become trans and I want to. I think there's a difference between me saying I am a girl because look at me. I got hairy balls and I got an Adam's apple. So there's a difference between saying I am a girl and I want to be a girl, or I think I was born to be a girl, or I was meant to be a girl. I think there's a difference between that and saying I am a girl because in that sense that's like the same as looking in the mirror and saying I'm obese. I'm not obese. Realistically, I'm not obese. So if I look in the mirror and it's like that's a difference. Like that's the whole idea of if you have an eating disorder, then you look in the mirror and you see yourself and you're like 100 pounds wet, but you look in the mirror and you see like an extra 100. That's how body dysmorphia is, and I think there's a difference between me looking. If I looked in the mirror and I said, that right there, that's a girl. That's someone with fat vajayjay lips and um perky pierced nipples. That's like that's uh that's different because I don't have those. So, but I don't think that's necessarily like a bad thing, but it's like something that needs to be at least acknowledged before someone like feeds into their own like delusions. And I think like at some point like there's fine, like if you do like go through all the transitional surgeries after 18, I don't believe in children, anyone under 18 being like surgically trans. You can be trans if you're like under 18, like you can, or just say that you're like, "Oh, I don't see myself as this." That's fine. But I don't think a child or anyone under 18 should go under like surgical ways to to reassign gender or something. Like I don't think that's okay. But I think at a certain point, like if you go through all the, if you like to say the second you turn 18, you do all those surgeries and you turn yourself into the other gender, and it's like, okay, then yeah, you basically are. I mean, yeah, you could say they have XY chromosomes or ZX or zebra sex chromosomes, but I don't think necessarily like, I don't think like it really matters. Like let's say if I'm walking down the street and I see this person and they have fat knockers and like obese baby birthing hips, then I'm gonna automatically think like that's a woman. But if it's like, oh well, actually they went through the surgery when they were like 18 to become trans and they took all the hormone blockers and shit, I think in that sense, I'm kind of like, okay, that's like, I wouldn't if I knew that, if I it, let now let's say now I'm in a loving relationship. I'm with a woman who I love very much. I would never cheat on her. But let's say I never met her I and me and this chick in the bedroom, and then she tells me she used to be a dude. I don't think I'd dive into that. I don't think I'm swimming through that. I don't know. It's just like, I don't like that, like that. Then I think that's fine to say, like, 'cause it doesn't mean I don't think they're a bad person. Like, I'd be friends with them. I think I'd be fine to be friends with them, but I wouldn't want to like have a relationship, like a romantic or sexual relationship with them. I don't know. That's just like a personal thing. And I think that's fine. I think, and you're gonna find a lot of men out there and a lot of women out there. I don't know. I, don't know, I feel like women. I feel like a lot of women would be more open to the idea of having it with like a transitioned and a woman transitioned into a man. I think more women would be into that than a man would with a man who transitioned into a woman. I think, but me personally, just I don't like that. I don't like that. Not that I don't like them, but I just don't like the idea of it being me involved in all that. But I don't know. I feel like most people aren't gonna watch this far, but who knows? TikTok's meant to like mindlessly scroll on, not really like listen to a podcast on. One person told me I should start a podcast, and I've considered it, but I actually am planning on doing a podcast type of thing with a friend of mine, but that's in the future from now. But uh, you know that one podcast that's like about superheroes, but they barely ever talk about superheroes. Instead, like talk about like, would you have sex with a fairy or with Tinkerbell? I asked that exact question to a buddy of mine, and he said he wouldn't do it if she was the actual size. Which I mean, there's like different iterations. Like growing up, I had a sister who I had sisters and a nana who liked all that stuff. So like I was with a lot of women growing up. So I was introduced to a lot of girly stuff. So I knew about Tinkerbell and like the Little Mermaid. So I actually, but I remember Tinkerbell. I remember in one version she's like probably like, I don't know, the size of my uh Xbox gaming wheel. I'm lying, it's not Xbox. It's like some really shitty like made in China Xbox gaming wheel, but I don't know why I keep saying Xbox. It's not that. But um I thought I heard something. My bad. My apologies. I thought I heard something. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, she's like this big in some iterations, or not like that big, but like some like maybe this big in some iterations, and then she's like this big. Again, I'm in a loving relationship, but let's say I never met her, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't say I'd have direct sex with a fairy this size. Like a fairy this size, I wouldn't do that. Like I wouldn't. But if they were like maybe, I wouldn't have direct sex with them, but I'd do something with them. Like that's a cool that's like fun. That sounds like a that fairies. She's not gonna get mad if she sees this. She wouldn't get mad at this. It's like I'm talking about literal fairies, but if I would do stuff, but I wouldn't have direct sex with it if that makes sense. But I'm saying if it was like this big, if she's like this big, I don't know. I feel like I've seen. I remember as a kid, um, I'd be on like the hub, and I remember I got traumatized by this one video. She had like a dildo, like this big, like huge, huge, like a tentacle, like one of those Meat Canyon merchandise things. Like no, did not like. I did not like that, and she totally used the entire thing. It was not like it wasn't like a hot dog and like slip and slide type of thing. It was like she took the entire thing. And I was like, I remember as a kid, I think that I was like in early middle school, and I saw this, and I'm like, I did not. I was like, I looked at it. I was like, I genuinely couldn't comprehend what I was seeing. I feel like that's worse than one man, one jar. I feel like under certain circumstances, it's worse than one man, one jar. Like I feel like that video, the video I'm thinking of specifically, I think is totally worse than one man, one jar. But I think it could. I don't know. One man, one jar gets pretty bad, but it's not really the worst. Like I've seen like way worse than one man, one jar, but it's like I feel like seeing that. The video I saw as a kid of the woman with the huge, uh, like long neck dinosaur, she I think that was worse because it was just like the size, like it confused me. Like as like if you're like whenever you're a kid and you see one man, one jar, you're like, okay, okay, everyone's seen it. Everyone's seen one man, one jar, and it's like, okay, it's like maybe at first it's like really it like really messes with your mind, but I don't know. For me personally, when I first saw one man, one jar, I was like, okay, I could probably fit like I don't know, actually I don't think I could fit a jar up my ass, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if what I'd be able to fit in my butt. I haven't tried it. I, I'm not gonna tell that story. I'm not gonna tell that story. But um, my girlfriend actually. When I say girlfriend, she's basically my wife, man. I love her very much. I've been with her for 2.5 years, but it's like I think I think we're like 6 to 7. We're like 6 to 7 months like um into the away from like being 3 years. So yeah, it's like 2.5. I don't know. I've been with her for a while though. It's been on and off though. I've loved her the entire time. She kind of went through a couple phases where she's like, I love him. I don't love him. I love him. I don't love him. She's picking the petals, but um, at the end of the day, love makes best, and we're actually doing pretty good now. I think it's like the whole. I think there's a big part of it is just like growing up with her. Like I grew up with her. I don't have any memories of her from my sixth grade year, but apparently she knew a lot about me from my sixth grade year. And apparently we even talked my sixth grade year. I don't know. Weirdly, I never remembered her in my sixth grade year. But I did become actual like for real friends with her whenever I was in seventh grade. I remember the first memory I have with her. Um, the first memory I have with her, I was in my last period of the day. It was seventh grade, and I was a complete loser at this point. Complete loser. So I was just kind of like sitting by myself, or I'd be sitting with like some other kids. But I usually like I did start making friends with like some of these people. Um, but to give you like an idea, one of them got caught with watching um, like porn. I don't know if I can say that or if this video will get muted, but he was caught watching like apparently some pretty crazy porn in class. And I knew a couple people who admitted, and they wouldn't admit this now, but I knew a couple people in middle school who admitted to whacking it in class. But and if you're watching this video, you know who you are. Like I'll see if you like this or not. I don't think you look at my profile, but I know there's the few people who admitted it to me. I know who you are, and just know your secret's safe with me. I won't tell anybody. I'm not that type of person. All right. We I've never done it in class, but you know it's okay, man. I'm not judging you. But um, anyways, back to what I was originally saying. I was with I Grace was like she told me to come over to her desk, and I think if I remember correctly, but basically in my older years, the way I interpreted the way I'm interpreting like this whole like the whole interaction is I'm pretty sure her friend fuck I shouldn't say names, I'll edit it out later. Her friend wanted me, and I was like really desperate at that age. So, but she like didn't want to talk to me for some reason. Like, why? Like she always would like flirt with me, and she'd like her friend, not Grace. Grace actually never flirted with me up until uh I made the first move. Up until I made the first move, I was always kind of flirty with her, and I'd say I did the big move like after like almost like 7 or 8 months of dating her, not dating her, being friends with her. I made the first big move, and then like she started flirting with me, and then we got together. But it's like, anyways, her friend, she she was always really nervous but weirdly flirty with me. But I was like ugly back then. Ooh. Actually, let me see if I have a picture. I don't know if I have the picture right now, but no. How long has this been? Oh, it's been 20. No one's watching this, but let me find it. I think I might have it on my phone. I don't have my phone right now because I have really bad grades. I know 16, pushing. I'm pushing 17 and still getting grounded. And it's fine though. They treat me right here. I'm not a complaining type of kid. I'm not mad that I got grounded. It just means they love me more. Exactly. But um if I can, I don't think I have. I mean, I might have it in a group chat. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not looking for it, but like, I remember I had one tooth. I got braces, so my teeth are straight now. But these two buck teeth right here, these fucking massive guys, one of them was tilted completely to the side, like genuinely turned all the way around, and I had a really bad jawline. I don't have the best jawline now, but better than nothing. But I also had a mullet. But the mullet was kind of tough, but I feel like it just looked made me look like really young. I don't know. I kind of have a not really a mullet. Like, it's like a straight down, kind of semi curtain mullet. Not really. I don't. I tried to get like a mushroom top kind of shit, but like not like 6'7" kid style. I can't see this, so I don't know. But yeah. Grace, my girlfriend. I can say her name, but my girlfriend Grace, um, she fell asleep. So, I get bored. I get bored really fast when I have no one to talk to. So I'm just talking to myself. So, I've been saying so a lot. I need to stop. Um, but yeah, I it's kind of crazy because I see lots of kids like getting bullied. Not very much these days. I don't see kids getting bullied these days. But it's like sometimes when I was like younger, I'd always see kids like I when I was like originally my the beginning of middle school. I didn't go to school my entire life. I was like locked away from society up until like 6th grade, which is why I was such a weirdo. Like what the reason I was such a weird ass kid when I started middle school was because I had no social interaction before then. Like I had this one I knew this one kid who I saw like maybe once a year. Um I used to have a semi friend group when I did martial arts before that, but my father started texting them pretending to be me, and they found out pretty fast. So didn't end well. Not tough, not cool. Ended horribly. But yeah, I needed. That reminds me, I need to delete a song on my SoundCloud. I like that shit's embarrassing. Shit is so embarrassing. I do need to delete that. I'll do that later. Um, but I actually don't know. I'm just I don't know why I'm still recording. I've gotten past the whole philosophy rant I went on, but I guess like if you're still watching, like I don't know, I'm probably not going to talk about anything more interesting. So you can I don't know, you can stop watching now. Feel free. But I actually Leonard Skinner. I don't listen to Leonard Skinner as much as I used to. Still probably my favorite band. Still probably my favorite band if we're talking overall genre. Every genre out there, I'm saying Leonard Skinner is my favorite. Like it just keeps the most consistent out of all of them. I just like it. Uh, I like Southern rock. I don't listen to as much Southern rock. I still listen to it occasionally though. But Leonard Skinner's probably my was probably my top three at least. But I'd say it's like two or one. I don't know. Top three seems like fitting because like in case I'm talking, I mean if you're talking about Soliliquium, which I like Soliliquium a lot, it's like a doom death metal band. They're tough. Um, the lead singer doesn't have really good clean vocals. So I feel like there's like there's like the there's like heavier vocals, you know, death metal vocals, mixed with like the doom type of shit. So um, but whenever he does clean vocals, I don't know, I don't really like it, but it's fine. I still like them. They're so great, man. Um, but I've recently a big thing I've been getting into is stoner metal. Fucking love stoner metal. That kind of branched off from my sludge metal stuff, but like I still like really heavy stuff, and stoner metal is just not heavy. So it's like if I'm in like a chill, if I'm like smoking, if I'm like getting high, and then I want some music to listen to, stoner metal is like the perfect genre for it. I don't really like stoner rock though. I don't know, something about stoner rock I just don't like, but stoner metal I really like that. Great to smoke to. White Boy Smoke 2 song. That and like underground white rappers is like a great White Boy Smoke song. But I feel like every white boy has gotten like high listening to like Lil Peep or like Smoke Dope 2016. I don't gatekeep, but I really should. I probably should gatekeep Smoke Dope 2016. Great though, I love him. He's so good. And I don't even listen to rap. Like I usually don't listen to rap. It's not my number one choice. But if you put a gun to, if you like stuck a Glock up my ass and told me to pick a rapper to listen to, I would say Smoked Up 2016 without a doubt. Awesome, awesome guy. But yeah, my sober days are over. I'm looking at these videos. I'm just like, fuck, my sober days are over. I went for like many months without drinking or smoking, and then I don't know. I kind of lost hope. Kind of figured, yeah, because looking at the most recent video, I was not in a good state of mind. Let's just listen to this. Wait, I got this. Wait, I don't have this. Is this fucking thing disconnected? Oh no, it's muted. Yeah. Stumbling around like a bumbling retard. Look at this guy. Here, we'll take a gander at it together. Look at this. Mouth open, sagging like a literally a retard. Like,
question of today, do I think I'm a psychopath? I don't know.
Simon always in here with the positivity. Awesome guy.
Some people say
He hasn't responded, so I'm just delete that shit. Already started calling. Hell yeah. I will say though, I get kind of embarrassed when I ask people questions and they don't respond to it. That's not tough. I understand it though. How many views has this gotten? Oh shit, y'all might see all the money I make from doing these. By an hour not. For like an hour straight, I got 0 views, 5 views. Damn. Let me see. What's like the most popular video I have on here? Oh yeah, I followed this like vegan guy. I followed this like vegan guy. There's like I don't know. Oh yeah, Claxton actually. Yeah, I know. But I used to follow this vegan king. I just like to watch his I like to watch his videos because he has like this really gay voice, and he also like gets really pissed off really easily, but he keeps making lives. I know it's totally a ploy, like the gay. Oh, he's just stopped going live. It's almost like he heard me. Oh, but I think he just stopped. I think he stopped. I think he stopped taking. I don't know. But I just know he probably did that. I know it was like the whole thing was a ploy to make money. I suck at talking. Like I put buy me a dirt bike. I should put my Cash App on here. I really should put my Cash App on here, because I'm very broke. But I need to stop spamming Curtain Wall on my For You page, because Curtain Wall is good, but he's a very acquired taste. Then again, it depends. If you're looking to get into just experimental music in general, I feel like Curtain Wall's like most recent like 2025 album and singles and shit. I honestly can't say I'm a big fan of. It's just too experimental for me. But I'd say his like early 2024 to like 2021 I really like. I think he's a great black metal artist. I kind of wish he did more of it, but because I think he only like released like a few songs where he did like raw black metal. But there's this one band actually we're gonna take a gander at. Oh yeah, Blacktooth Grin. I actually discovered them recently. But what was the name of it? What was this band? This is Cough is like kind of along the lines of what I was talking about. Dude, I listened to Sleep Token. Oh my god. Shit was so ass. Like I genuinely couldn't stand it. Maybe it's not on here. Oh yeah, Suicide Boys too. Suicide Boys is a White Boy Smoke song. Let's take a gander at like Castle Spire. Probably one of my top 3 black metal songs. May I be daring enough to say, why is this on here? Take this off. I listened to the intro, but I had to go, so I just added it to my like songs. I just listened to it. Oh yeah, here's I Hate God. Then there's whatever this is trash. I actually hated this, but the album cover is actually tough. That's cool, but I don't know. I don't like the reimagined or whatever shit. Sodom. I actually need to do more stuff into Sodom, but Nerve Damage. That's right. That's the name. Nerve Damage. Uh, they need to release an album, man. I've been waiting for them to, but because they just got like Scum, which came out in 2025. So yeah, they're a really recent band. They came out really recently. I'm just waiting on that. I'm waiting on that album to come, like their first album to come out. But really good band. Really good band. So far, I think all their music is beautiful. Go check out Nerve Damage. I don't think anyone's gonna watch this far into the video, but totally check out Nerve Damage. Um, I started this with the idea of like having a sweet little playlist I'd make with my girlfriend, and didn't work out. She has not added any songs. I do listen to country. Jesse Wills. I only know War is a Murder by him, but probably my favorite country artist was his name. Shit. It's on the tip. I have horrible memory all of a sudden. Billy Strings. Billy Strings. Billy Strings. Great music. Probably I like Catch and Release by him. Actually, I haven't listened to Highway Prayers. But yeah, this guy's awesome. Love his music. Highway. Oh yeah, this is the whole album. He's like a hippie. He's like hippie country. That's probably my favorite country album. Like not country album, country genre. I do mess with like some punk country, but that's like only like that's like I barely listen to it. Like I'll listen to like I like Hank Williams III. I had a Hank Williams III phase for like a week, but I'd say hippie country is probably where I stand. I forgot who was the guy who made Country Roads, Take Me Home. I forget these names all the time. I think he has John Denver. Such a forgettable name, like actually horrible name. But I like this guy a lot. But he has a lot of listeners. But yeah, I really like this guy. Very hippie country. That's kind of like what I like about Billy Strings, because I think modern country is shit. I think modern country is just like coworker music these days. Like you can't genuinely enjoy modern country music, in my opinion. I can't like it. I think, but I think Billy Strings is like not modern country, but he's like a newer country artist who like brings back that like really good like old stoner country type of thing. I feel like most people who like, and I'm not even the type of guy who's all like, oh, you gotta be this or that. I'm a real country boy. I think that's so fucking stupid. You shouldn't like or dislike things just so you fit into like some persona that you're setting up for yourself. What a gay wad. Like if you're genuinely doing that, like if you're getting lifts on your if you get a lift that's like 6 inches on your truck, you are a gay wad. You are gay. You are a homosexual. Okay, like I think of the idea of like a truck that looks good is like a good, like, 80s. I'll even say I mess with some like early 2000s bodies. I know that's a more controversial take, but it's like I don't like modern trucks, but I like the older ones. I would say I am a Ford person because of my family. My family is like has always been a long line of Ford lovers, so I kind of have to do that as like family loyalty. But I wouldn't say I have as much hatred for Chevrolet as much as my grandpa does. My grandpa hates Chevrolet, but like I don't understand the hatred for it. I feel like if you're more of a mechanic and you're more into like editing vehicles, then yeah, Chevy's your option, because Chevy bodies are all similar. All their internals are like similar to each other. They're all built the same way, so they're much more. So it's like a scrapyard of Chevys is like a lot better for like for a car mechanic, for a vehicle mechanic, than like a scrapyard full of Fords, because there's more. The parts are all similar there, but but I think it's like getting lifts on your truck. Um, I don't know. I just think most of the shit that people say is like people who choose like people who fish for 2 hours and say, "Oh, well, I'm a real country boy." Dude, what? Why does that matter? Why does being a country boy fucking matter? Like, if you wear Bass Pro Shops on hats, like unironically, like, well, I do have a cork. I don't know where it is right now, but I have a cork hat that I use for lures. And it's actually a really good hat. I think those Bass Pro Shop hats I have like corks where you can like put your lures in it. That's good. That I like those. But I need it a lot because whenever I go into like because I like to go for like creeks and stuff. I love creek fishing, but I like good creeks though. I like small creeks where you catch like little fuck ass fish that are like smaller than your palm. Not smaller than my palm. I'd say the size of my palm. Bigger than my palm, but like barely. Fuck, I don't know. Why do I get so specific? But I'd say like fish. This is the wrong thing. Y'all just gotta look at my chats, the private people in my life. This is not. No one's gonna watch this far. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. But I complete. Oh yeah, but I think that's fun. But it's like fun to do for like a week, and then you like and then I'll like revisited it like a few times in the past. But like, it's not a fun thing to constantly fish. But and it's definitely not gonna. I don't know. It's better to fish like I fished it like a lot early summer and shit. I guess I should probably I could probably fish it again. But I'm gonna try and go fishing at this at my neighbor's like pond tomorrow. And he's like fine with me doing that, so it's not illegal. And he has decent fish in there. My little sister who's like fucking 10 years old, she caught a try to pop it. There we go. I popped my toe with a rubber band. Like I put my. I'm not gonna show you my feet, but yeah, that felt good. Okay, but my sister actually caught like a 4 pound fucking bass in that bitch. Whew. Smoking. Um, it was good eating too. I'd say if I catch a bass like a largemouth bass that is like 7 to 8 pounds. I might eat a 7 pounder. Like if it's like a if it's 7.5 and above, I probably want to eat because I don't know. It's like I feel like it's a moral code type of thing. Like I don't know if they got that big, then unless it's in a pond. If there's a well, you're not gonna find a 7 or 8 pounder in a pond. But like I'm talking like a small lake. If you catch like a bass that big, I don't know. Maybe it is a good idea to eat it. Like help out the ecosystem. But if it's like a medium sized lake or even a large lake, like it's like no, you shouldn't. I'd say that's like always release. I feel like at a certain point you kind of gotta understand. I don't know. For me, it's like I respect the fish enough to where it's like you got that big, you earned it. I'm gonna let you keep living. But it's like, or if like a fish like is like, or if a fish like I don't know. If I like really fight hard with a fish, that's why I like catfishing. I used to not like catfishing because I was strictly an eater. Like I used to eat everything I catch, unless it was like smaller than my hand. But like I'd eat so much, so like all the fish I caught. I kind of disliked catfish for that reason, but I actually recently caught like this albino catfish. It was put in the pond. Like it wasn't natural born there, but I caught like an albino fat catfish, and um, it was actually on a like medium to light rod, so it was a good fucking fight. And I'm like, okay, I have a little more appreciation because I feel like for smallmouths, if you're like finding a smallmouth is like finding a little war jet, like like it's flying around, like it's hard because it's just jerking on it. I feel like with like catfish or I don't know, largemouth bass kind of just let you like drag them over, use and abuse them, but my, my body's failing me. But like a catfish when I was like finding the catfish is like a tank. Like I was dragging back a fucking tank or something. So hard to do. My arm actually got like really like it hurt a lot, but I have the picture. I'm not gonna show it though. If someone asks me though, it's like it's always fun. It's always fun to show people a picture of a fish you caught that you're proud of. But I caught a really good albino for catfish out there. But I'm getting kind of tired. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might play Skyrim or something, or jerk off. One or the other. But yeah. Toodles.